How's it going, ladies and Bruce? I'm Bobby Sixkilla. Welcome back to the Divine Deception. We get ourselves a silver key in the last one, which means we can go back to Vel's, finally. We are up to the third one here, but I want to continue with Vel's story, at least as long as we can. I assume we'll get to a point where we get locked off again because we don't have the keys, but let's see what's happening with Vel's, who we now know is actually Locke slash Laverna slash Thane, etc. Outs played. Polly's place is pretty cool, huh? I suppose. I suppose? You suppose? What do you possibly have to complain about? Nothing in particular? That's why I suppose it's pretty cool. I'm just not particularly struck by its amazingness or anything. Damn. What high standards you must have. I haven't stayed in a place half this fancy my entire life. This whole layered low thing is working out pretty good in my book. Well, if you're being technical, it's not really Polly's place. It's the late Veronica Collins. She died in this very house. Wait, is that right? Ugh, gross. You think it's like haunted or something? Haunted? Really? Krish, even you can't seriously believe in ghosts. I mean, not really. But I mean, it's just not a fun thought, okay? You cannot believe in something and still be creeped out. I mean, you don't believe in the monsters in horror movies, but they're still scary, right? Valid point, I guess. And anyway, who cares if Veronica Collins used to live here? Like you said, she's dead. She's been dead. Polly owns the house. Ergo, henceforth, verily, this counts as Polly's place. So my description was right. You didn't need all three of those antecedents? Including all of them makes you sound less refined. But anyways, another valid point. You're really on a roll today, Krish. You know, that's a nice thing to say, but somehow the way you're saying it makes it feel demeaning. I'm sorry. I really am. It's just very easy to poke fun at you. That's not a good reason. It's not. I apologize. And again, with your words, you apologize, and yet somehow I don't particularly believe you all that much. I was being legitimate that time. I really was. If you say so. But thin ice. Alright. Anyways, you're right. This place is nice. Got a lot of different rooms, it's spacious, pretty nice looking. I've never been someone who really got aesthetics and stuff, but even I can tell it's pretty swanky. But I'm pretty sure the reason you like this place doesn't have anything to do with any of that. Oh yeah? I think this house any house with a personal library, an excess of snacking food, and a decent bed would leave you impressed. Guilty as charged. Hey, what can I say? I'm a simple person. I know what I like. I nodded my head. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. The conversation with Krish was casual and light. That was good. I wanted to keep their spirits up. It was important that things felt normal. Krish didn't handle pressure that well. If they began to crack, well, that wasn't happening. At any rate, I didn't want to get them worked up over nothing. To that end, I also gave a bit of a white lie about why I actually was here. I said I wanted to spend some more time with Polly and Krish. Just hang out. I had time. And that wasn't wrong, per se. But the real reason was because I planned to make my move. Make good on my protection promise that I made with Polly. Not just for the deal's sake, mind you. If shit went down, Krish was likely to get caught up in it one way or another. I didn't want their position compromised. And keeping Polly around while he owed me was also probably to my advantage. So then, why was I suspicious of tonight? Well, I had put in a couple of defense measures for this house. A few were obvious, but one was less so. I scattered small glass pieces around the perimeter of the house and covered them in leaves and foliage. If someone planned on assaulting the house, they'd probably try to do some reconnaissance before, to get around my more obvious defense measures. Earlier today when visiting, I did one of my regular glass checks, and sure enough, some of those small glass shards were a lot smaller. Somebody had been snooping around. Now that didn't necessarily mean an attack was happening tonight. It didn't necessarily mean anything at all. But, well, better safe than sorry. It is a nice place. Still, I don't think I'll ever really get how rich people decorate interiors. I mean, look at that. I pointed to a large, thin metal bowl set on a glass table next to a couch. In the metal bowl were a number of conch shells, starfish, and other undersea themed items. What exactly is the deal with that? Why is that there? Why is the large, thin bowl that's too big for what it contains? Why the aquatic theme? There's no other traces of aquatic themes. Val, not all interior decoration has to have a lot of thought put into it. Sometimes things are just the way they are because they look kinda cool. The bowl and the items look kinda cool. That's why they're there. I mean, fine. But if that's the case, the price tag on decorations like this are really unjustified. You don't know the price tag on those decorations. I can make a fair guess. Value's relative, I guess. You know, it's rare for you to be the one caught up on small talk. You're absolutely right. We should be discussing some important things. How are things on the Olympo front? Does Polly have an actionable plan to gain some power? Define actionable. Alright, that answers that. Okay, the two of us have been doing some brainstorming. That must have been fruitful. It has been. There's basically two ways in which Polly can take over Olympo. On the one hand, we could get Odin to respect Polly. That seems like an uphill battle, huh? Sort of. But Polly's been putting in the legwork required. Cleaning up his image, chipping in more with the company. None of this matters alone, of course, but it makes it more plausible that Odin could favour Polly in the future. I don't know how much I believe in that line of attack. Doesn't look super promising, I'll admit. But you know, Odin's fickle, apparently. We should be on the lookout for chances to impress him. What's the other option? Well, we could try dragging Art down. If there's enough public sentiment against him, he'll bow out himself. Or if not, Odin will probably force him out. All in the name of keeping Olympo alive. I think that seems like a much more plausible strategy. Art's probably super dirty. It's just a matter of finding his specific weakness. Not just finding the weakness, we have to get proof of it. That can be tricky. Kara's apparently got some contacts that she can use to try and scrounge up some information. So that's what we were waiting on. Now, well, it's a start at least. I can't criticize too much. After all, it's not like the duet front had shored up too much anyways. No? Yeah, well, it's not a horrible situation. From what I've heard, the active hunt for you is pretty much all but died down. You were never like the highest priority target. Yee's just worried your reliability. Is that right? Yeah, but if you're busy lying low, then you don't pose a threat by rallying people again. In his eyes, that's as good as you being dead. Still, that doesn't mean you can go back to normal life anytime soon. We need to come up with a more permanent solution. Do you have any ideas about that? Leave town? The hit on you, from what I can tell, is not a universal duad order. It's the command of Yi, which means if Yi is no longer in power, you're not in danger. Bells, you're not thinking about killing Yi, are you? That's a little extreme for my tastes. All I'm saying is that in some way, Yi needs to lose his power in the duad organization for you to be safe. Beyond that, I'm clueless. Damn. Well, thanks for looking into things. No problem. Sorry you have to stay holed up in this place even longer. Nah, it's not a problem. In fact, I kinda like being stuck in one place. Makes me focus more. Actually, get this. I've actually gotten started on that book I wanted to write. No shit. Yep. Turns out confinement was all I needed to get some motivation. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's actually any good though. I'll be the judge of that. You want to look over what I got so far? Yeah. All of a sudden I stopped speaking. I remained silent. Bells? I kept silent. I listened out closely. Did you hear something? No, did you? I don't know. I thought I heard something, but it was so faint. I wasn't sure if my mind was just playing tricks on me. I wasn't sure if I could even call it hearing something. It was more of a gut feeling. I thought of those words like a dirty phrase. Gut feeling shouldn't be relied on. They shouldn't make you hear noises you can't verify. But here I was, dancing to the whims of this gut feeling. Oh well. Just in case, can we check the cameras? Sure thing. We'd set up a couple of security cameras outside the house, hidden in the trees and grass. Krish and I walked over to a nearby desk with a computer set up. I let Krish type in the password and open up the monitoring program. The two of us then just scanned the screens. I don't see anything. Nope, no, everything looks to be in place. Are you sure you heard something? Very much not so. But no, I wouldn't say everything's in place. Huh? See, look at this camera. I put into the relevant section of the computer screen. A leaf's fallen right in front of it. Like half of the view is now covered. Alright, so leaves fall. Just a bit of bad luck. Right, but then take a look at this screen. This time the right side has been obscured by a fallen leaf. This is what we get for setting cameras below some trees. No, Krish, think for a second. What's relevant about these two leaves? I let Krish figure it out themselves. Maybe now wasn't the time to quiz them, but I couldn't help myself. Oh, both these cameras are showing the same part of the house. And the same part of the house is covered by the leaves. Both of them in conjunction have created a blind spot in our defences. That can't be a coincidence. I certainly don't think so. Krish turned around and began walking toward the closest door. Whoa, Krish, what are you doing? I'm gonna show whoever's out there what's up. Wait! What? Let's not just go out there and start screaming our presence, okay? Right now we have an advantage over whoever put those leaves there. I don't think they know we're here. As long as that remains the case, we got an edge. Okay. So then what should we do? Let's think. What are they hoping to do by covering those cameras? They probably covered up those specific spots, because otherwise they'd be caught on tape. Which means they're likely going to approach the house from that angle. Which means... I tried visualizing the whole house for a second. Then I turned and pointed to the nearby back door. They should be entering through that opening. Are you sure? No. Oh. But I'm pretty confident. So if we know where they're coming from, we can counterattack. Now I'm going to hide next to that door, ready to strike. You go wake up Polly. I know it's late, but this probably warrants disturbing him. I'd say. You sure you're okay by yourself? Obviously. Besides, once you wake Polly, you two should come back here, cool? Right. Alright, I'll go handle that. Sounds good. And just like that, Krish went over to the staircase, looking to wake up Polly. I squatted down, ready for the door to swing open any second now. I knew coming here was the right decision. Maybe gut instinct should be respected more. Some people say that your gut is your subconscious mind, that gut instincts are actually things that you've thought out quite a lot without even realizing it. I wasn't sure how much this helps things. I personally preferred conclusions I made consciously as opposed to leaving the work to the back recesses of my brain. Still, in times like these, maybe gut instinct weren't all that bad. And speaking of gut instincts, a new deadly one was creeping up on me. Gut instinct of doubt. Were things really this straightforward? I mean, just going through the back door? It seems a little simplistic. Could things really be that easy? Sure it could. That wasn't a well thought out argument. Just because something seems easy doesn't diminish its likelihood. And why exactly was I getting an uneasy feeling? Oh, I see. Polly's room's not far, and this is an urgent situation. It might not have been a lot of time, but it's already been too long. I should have heard something, anything coming from upstairs. Instead, it's been silent. Deadly silent. Against my better judgment, I stood up. I wanted to go check on Krish and Polly myself. The moment I got to the staircase, I realized that my decision to come and intervene was absolutely right. As a matter of fact, I came to the decision at precisely the right time. Any longer, and who knows what might have happened. I don't want to think about it. At the top of the stairs, I saw Krish, and I saw someone else. They were wearing a black hoodie, a face mask, and gloves. It was dark. It was hectic. Yet even despite all that, I could recognize them. That was the person I saw interacting with Governor Aja. I had a picture of their face. Then, was the assassination attempt coming from Aja? That didn't make sense. Well, it's not like I had time to think about that right now, because there was something else that caught my attention. Something far more pressing. See, Krish and the Mystery Man weren't just standing next to each other. No, the Mystery Man was standing behind Krish. Krish's face was now flushed. They were struggling, grasping at their neck. It was hard to see in the darkness, but after a moment I spotted it. The Mystery Man had a thin black wire. He wrapped it around Krish's throat. Right now, Krish is being strangled to death. Shit. The second I'd spent analysing the scene was the second I couldn't spare. Determined not to waste a moment more, I ran up the stairs. And then when I got to the top, I rushed right at the Mystery Man. I threw a punch right at him. Unfortunately, before the strike could land, the Mystery Man let loose the wire and lifted his arms up to block the punch. Krish, for their part, limped over to the side to a nearby restroom and tried to catch their breath. That's fine, Krish. I'll handle this myself. I threw another punch at Mystery Man, but again he blocked it. I tried to close the distance with an uppercut, but this time, the assassin just swayed out of the way. Damn it, what the hell? Why wasn't this working? I threw another straight jab with my right arm. This time though, the Mystery Man wasn't content to just evade. He got out of the way and then grabbed my outstretched arm. When he had me in a lock, he pushed me over, knocking me against the wall. Before I could recompose myself, he reached out and grabbed my head. He slammed my head against the wall again and again. It was a rush of 3 slams before I broke free, stumbling to the ground. Ah, fucking shit! What was going on here? My head was so dazed I didn't have the composure to get out of the way when the Mystery Man sent a kick at my prone body. Motherfucker! I was knocked back, almost at the edge of the staircase. A bit more distance, I would have tumbled down all the way. This blow, however, didn't stun me, but instead pained me. Pain leads to aggravation, to adrenaline. In an instant, I jumped to my feet, and then with a blind fury, I rushed right at the Mystery Man. Once again, though, the guy was prepared for the attack. He intercepted my rush and grabbed a hold of me. Before I knew what was happening, I could feel my body weight being lifted up, and then in an instant, I was flung forward. I was sent right into the bathroom door, crashing into Krish in the process. What the hell? Who was this guy? Was that goddamn Akita or something? Being able to redirect my whole body mass told me all I need to know about the man's strength, at least. I wasn't exactly heavy, but still, a throw like that should have been no easy feat. In pain, both Krish and I reluctantly got to our feet. However, by the time we were back up, we were met with an unpleasant sight. Freeze. Standing in the restroom door frame, the mystery man was brandishing a pistol. He had it aimed right at us. Well, shit. You two don't need to die. Just sit tight. I'll finish things, then I'll be on my way. That's not... You think you have a choice? I don't like needless killings. My brain was moving a mile a minute. You don't like needless killing? Weird philosophy for an assassin. Not impossible, mind you, but weird. Also contradicted by the fact that it sure looked like this guy was going to kill Krish when he had the chance. I couldn't be 100% on that fact, though. Maybe that was a different circumstance? What struck me was why this guy was just pulling out a pistol now. Like, shouldn't it have been the first thing he used? Guns are kind of a trump card. This guy might have been super cocky about his fighting prowess. That might not have even been the wrong attitude. But even still, slight mistake, he'd be dead. I don't think he'd take that risk. It's possible he just didn't have a natural time to pull out the gun in the fight. I was applying a lot of pressure there. But what about the case with Krish? Krish was ambushed from behind, seemingly. Surely a gun could have been used then. Well, maybe not. Maybe the man got into the situation with Krish through a fight. No, that was the easy answer. What was the real answer? What was this man here to do? Well, there was one easy guess. He was here to assassinate Polly. That was why he came through the window, probably. So then, does that give me some insight? It sure does. Here's a theory. What if this guy didn't want to use the gun because it'd leave a gunshot and blood? He wanted to keep the job clean. Hence the strangle kill. Right now, the gun was stalling us. It could just be a temporary stopgap, though. One that let him plan how he wanted to deal with us. If he was an assassin, it's likely he did research on Polly's house. If he didn't know about our presence, Mystery Man might assume that nobody else knew about our presence. So that if he strangled us both, disposed of our bodies in the woods, he could still stage whatever crime scene he had planned. Of course, that line of thinking was flawed since Kara did know about us. But Mystery Man might not know that. This is a lot of speculation. Gambling on the idea that Mystery Man didn't want to use a gun was a pretty big gamble. But, well, this is quite literally a life or death situation. If there was a time to make a big gamble, let's all just... As the Mystery Man put his eyes on Krish, I took my chance. In an instant, I leapt right toward him. If he was really willing to shoot us, a pro like him would probably have an itchy trigger finger and shoot me dead there and then. However, that didn't happen. I was able to land a punch on him before he could truly react. Yes! Score! Injured, he backpedaled into the hallway. I rushed out hoping to land another strike. Unfortunately, he made a quick recovery. He ducked my punch and shoved me backward toward the stairs. I managed to avoid toppling back down. Before I could make another move, however, Krish rushed out right behind me. They tried to punch Mystery Man in a similar fashion to my attack. It probably wasn't a great sign towards my prospects. Unfortunately, Mystery Man caught Krish's punch dead on. With his free hand, he smacked Krish right in the side of the neck, sending him stumbling the opposite direction from me. Mystery Man followed it up by rushing in and throwing another punch right at Krish's head, which I just barely managed to block. It was at this point I was starting to regain my composure. I was looking to rejoin the fight. However, Mystery Man then took a sharp 180. Aimed right at me, he rushed forward and did something I never could have expected. He jumped up and with both feet kicked out at me. A drop kick? Being honest, this was an attack I didn't remotely expect. I completely ruled out the possibility of a drop kick. I mean, that's not a good fighting move. It's not supposed to be, at least. However, I couldn't exactly contest its efficacy in this context. No way to dodge this close quarters. I did my best to block with both arms, but there was no stopping that momentum. In an instant I was sent backwards, stumbling down the stairs. That stumble quickly turned into a full-on collapse. Fuck! Before I knew it, I was lying on my back at the bottom of the stairs. And a second later... Ah, fuck! I didn't really see what had happened, but I sure as hell could guess. The Mystery Man had jumped down and landed right on me. This is confirmed as he came into view. He wasted no time pressing the advantage. His legs shifted to my arms, pinning me down. And with his arms, he reached out to my face and then, in an instant, didn't go for my throat. No. With both his thumbs, he began to push down on my eyeballs. Fuck, no! When I saw what he meant to do, I began struggling as much as I could, but I couldn't get free. I didn't have enough energy, not from this angle. As time slowed to a crawl, I could only internally scream as the gloved hand came close, and then they reached my eyes. I closed them, of course, but I began to feel a pushing. I felt indescribable pain, and then, relief. Just as soon as I felt the pushing, it had stopped. The pressure on my arms also came to a halt. I opened my eyes to try and see what had happened, but it didn't particularly do me a whole lot of good. Still, I could assume what had happened. Krish must have been short on Mystery Man's heels. Just after he jumped down, so did they. Actually, I could hear the two struggle off to the side, out of sight. Thank Christ for Krish. Seriously. A second more. Fuck, half a second. My eyes might have received some permanent damage from that psycho. Holy shit. Now, I wasn't still very much in a deadly situation. I'd been reeling from panic. Obviously, I didn't have that luxury. I knew Krish's fighting capabilities, and I now had a decent understanding of Mystery Man's. Fighting my injuries, I got to my feet. I rubbed my eyes, trying to come to my senses. A few seconds later, I was back to relative competence. Unfortunately, those were a rough few seconds for Krish. Right now, they were on their knees, reeling from a blow. Mystery Man reached up, and with great force landed another strike on the top of Krish's head. Krish reeled. Mystery Man lifted his arm once more, clearly winding up for another strike. However, at this point, I made my way over to him. I grabbed his arm mid-air and used it to turn Mystery Man around somewhat, and I landed one solid strike right to his face. Ha! That was satisfying. Mystery Man stumbled back. I helped Krish back to their feet. The earlier encounter had proved something to me. I needed their backup to win this fight. At this point, it looked like Mystery Man was the one with some tilt. He rushed forwards, trying to punch me right in the side of the head. I dodged backwards and Krish tried to kick him in the side. The kick actually landed, though Mystery Man quickly turned back and retaliated with a hook that missed Krish. Here we had him in a compromised position. Krish and I were on either side of the Mystery Man, now to beat him down. With a mere look between the two of us, Krish and I came to an understanding. Then we both rushed in, punching and kicking the best we could. It was a bit of a blur what happened next. It was almost hypnotic how the Mystery Man reacted. Despite being attacked on two fronts, he weaved between dodges and blocks, fending off both sides. No matter what we tried, we couldn't quite get an attack to land. And finally, Mystery Man saw an opening. He was able to land an uppercut right into Krish's gut, crumpling them. Then seamlessly, they turned back around and bicycle kicked me right in the forehead. I'd be upset, but being 1000% honest, I think I was just a bit impressed that I'd actually been bicycle kicked. Alright, this wasn't working. Up against the couch, I realized that this guy might not want to use weapons, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't. I looked around and something in the corner of my eye caught my attention. I began making my way towards it, but just then all three of us on the ground floor turned our attention toward the stairs. Yo guys, I'm into partying as much as the next guy, but it's pretty fucking late. Could you please keep it... Hey, friendo, what's happening? I heard Mystery Man let out an audible sigh. Fuck it. The moment he saw his arm move to his side, I knew what was about to happen. Look, reacting to the words that come up is all fine and good, but this whole thing was created because I don't want you to be passive. And I worry that you're going to replace passively reading with passively reading and then clicking a button. That's no good. You click the button when I want you to, not when you want to. So then sometimes an opportunity will present itself when your ideas are coming to you. When this happens, immediately click it. Before the timer runs out or face the consequences. Oh man. I'm not going to skip it, but we're not going to earn any fucking tokens because I suck at it. Let's do it. In the distraction caused by Polly's appearance, I had already grabbed onto a thin, wide metal bowl plate sitting on a nearby glass table. Catch, chuck, toss, shield, charge, hide, throw. I could throw in the direction of the Mystery Man, but in that split second, my instincts told me that the bowl wouldn't make it in time if I threw it directly at him. So in a move that a calmer, saner me would never have dreamed of, I threw the bowl at Polly, or rather at the space in front of Polly. At the same time, Mystery Man took out his pistol and fired a shot right at Polly. Polly might be really blessed by God or something, because the bullet really did hit the plate mid-air. I didn't quite catch the interaction, but whatever happened, I'm pretty sure I saved Polly's life. However, instead of watching that, I was rushing right at the Mystery Man. Jump kick, chuck, toss. If I wrote these down I could do it. Shoot, charge. I could feel a sting in the back of my head. My mouse disappeared and I couldn't do it. My brain foreshadowed the fact that I wasn't reacting quick enough. Quick, I need to do something before it's too late. Okay, jump kick, chuck, toss, shoot, charge. Before he could get another shot, I grabbed the hand with which he held his pistol. The two of us began to wrestle for control of the gun. I could feel that he was stronger than me, but I had an idea. Slam, strike. I slammed my head into his. Ow! Both of us recoiled in pain. Not my best idea, however, in the interaction, the pistol dropped to the floor. I tried to kick it out toward Krish, but before my foot could make contact with the gun, the Mystery Man had stomped on top of it. It looked like we were thinking along roughly the same lines. After my kick attempt failed, Mystery Man himself kicked the pistol along the floor, skidding it under the couch. He probably figured that in this tense melee, he wouldn't have enough free time to actually successfully pick up the gun. Since there were 3 of us, there were a lot more chances for one of us to get our hands on it. Again, lightning-quick analysis skills on the part of the mystery men. My faith in our ability to actually get out of this alive was rapidly depleting. No, I couldn't have those doubts now. I was in the middle of a tense fight, in case I forgot. I had to stay in the moment. I tried pushing him, but he grabbed my arms handily. Behind him, Krish began to run for another attack. Unfortunately, the mystery man was just as aware of this. As soon as Krish got in range, the mystery man let out a powerful kick to the side of their head. The smack of the impact would sound satisfying were it not for the context. Left roundhouse kick, right axe kick. I can't do that. There's too many words. Left axe kick. Roundhouse. Right butterfly kick. Oh my god. Jump kick. No. My muscles moved to react before freezing up. I felt a pain in the back of my head. Yeah. I know how it goes. Left roundhouse kick, right axe kick. Jump kick, left axe kick. Roundhouse, right butterfly kick. Right axe kick. God damn it. I told you I wasn't going to earn anything. Oh, I don't know what I just did there. Polly rushed off toward the kitchen in the corner of my eye. I didn't have the mental capacity to even form an opinion on this. I just made a slight note. After recovering from the kick, Krish ran back at Mystery Man. He had to give it up for their persistence. However, this time Mystery Man grabbed Krish by the back of the head. Then he smashed Krish's face against his knee. Krish cried out in pain. Punch, charge, grab, shoot, kick. You might expect Mystery Man to try and follow up on this. However, just as soon as he had targeted Krish, he took a step toward me and threw another kick right at me. But this time I'd more than anticipated the attack. I didn't just dodge the kick, I was able to catch Mystery Man's outstretched leg mid-air. And I had his leg in my hand. Honestly speaking, my mind sort of went blank. I didn't expect to get this far. Panicking, I just punched his leg in a way his joint shouldn't be able to bend. Fuck! Okay, that seemed to work well. Mystery Man wormed free and with a pained look, bounced backward twice, putting some distance between himself, Krish, and I. It was at this point Polly came rushing in, holding a pot with both his hands. Oh, I see. He was looking for a weapon to try and help the fight. And the pot was the best he could find? Mystery Man, for the first time in the fight, looked genuinely angry. You little pests! I noticed he was reaching into his pocket. Never a good sign. After a second or two, he found what he was looking for. It looked to be a small metal capsule. A small metal capsule? I couldn't pass it at first, but when the Mystery Man pushed down on it, I had a bad idea. And then when he threw it at the floor in front of me, my idea was confirmed. Luckily, in what I had assumed was a rare moment of clarity for him, Polly was actually with me in terms of thought process. Bells. Dodge, toss, shoot, charge, click. Without hesitation, Polly threw the pot held over to me. I didn't even need to think twice about what to do. I reached out and caught the pot mid-air. And as soon as I had it in my hands, I made to cover the metal capsule on the floor with the pot. At the same time, I bent down, pressing my knee onto the pot. No sooner had I encapsulated the metal capsule than I feel a strong force pushing out against it. It wasn't a slow build or anything, it was instant. Just like that, I was sent soaring backwards. The pot was sent flying wildly into the air. That metal capsule was some sort of mini grenade. Definitely just a mini grenade though. I didn't want to imagine what would have happened without a real grenade. As is, the pot barely contained the blast. If it were a full explosion, I'd probably be in pieces, honestly speaking. At any rate, if I wanted to feel shitty about my chances of survival, I didn't need to come up with hypotheticals. I was already knocked against the back wall due to the mini grenade. However, even as I was being sent backwards, I knew I needed to recover ASAP. Mystery Man sure as shit wasn't going to be lying on his ass recovering. And sure enough, as soon as I'd hit the back wall, I saw Mystery Man rushing straight forwards at me, both arms to the side. It was a dumb way of running. Why was he straightening his arms like... Oh fuck, seriously? Before I knew it, in both hands, Mystery Man was holding small black karambit knives. Motherfucker. Did he have them up his sleeves? What sort of arsenal did this guy lug around on a regular basis? Whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it. The psycho wasn't killing me. Was that cut right something? Cut left stab? Slice? Swing? Mystery Man got right up close and made a swing at me with the knife. At the last possible minute though, I ducked and rolled out of the way of the slash. Quickly I turned back around and got to my feet. As to be expected, Mystery Man's assault was far from over. Dual-wielding knives, he continued to slash at me. I did my best to stay out of his range as he wildly swung, but it was far from a stable arrangement. I was keenly aware that at any moment, a slip-up on my part could leave me bleeding out slowly on the floor. Needless to say, I'd rather avoid that eventuality. Finally, in one particularly desperate-looking rush, I saw an opening. I was able to grab onto an arm holding onto one of the knives. There was a brief power struggle, This time, however, I was able to win it conclusively. Mystery Man dropped the knife right into my hand. Taking the most opportunity, I swung out at the Mystery Man. Unfortunately, I was able to back up out of the range of the attack in time. I noticed he'd put the hand holding his remaining knife into his pocket. Whatever, I need to push the offensive. I took 2 more steps forwards and stabbed out at the Mystery Man. Then before I knew what was happening, I felt a constriction around my arm. What the? Mystery Man had taken back out the wire and caught my arm in it. He began to circle around me, so I tried to swing back at him, but my arm was firmly strung up. Instead, I moved to try and hit him with my other arm, but just as soon as I had that thought, I felt the knife-wielding arm come loose. As I swung out with the other arm, that one too was caught by the wire. Instead of it being wrapped up, however, Mystery Man moved to wrap the wire around a much more vital organ. Before I could object, I could feel myself being choked out by the wire. It was wrapped around my throat. It wasn't until this point that I realised just how thin the wire was. And you can't really resist when a wire's wrapped around your throat. You don't exactly have the muscles to do anything. Luckily for me, instead of directly choking me out, Mystery Man used the leverage to turn me around. See, Chris had come running in again, looking to land a wild strike. But Mystery Man used me as a meat shield, and as Krish approached, they faltered. Mystery Man used this faltering as an opportunity. He rushed out and kicked Krish right in the stomach, sending them reeling back. It felt as though I'd seen Krish reel back a dozen times already in these few minutes. None of us were progressing, we were just fighting. Before I could expand on that profound thought, though, the brain to my oxygen started to cut out. Now, Mystery Man was choking me out. It was horrifying not being able to think straight, feeling your life slip away like that. In a rage, I lashed out with the arm that held the knife, hoping to blindly strike my assailant. I stabbed in the direction behind me a few times, but nothing seemed to land. I could vaguely feel the wire around my neck twisting, indicating the Mystery Man was moving his body out of the way. Then I felt a sharp kick to the back of my leg. Fuck! I'd fallen to my knees at this point. This wasn't going to work. If this kept up, I'd be dead in a mere couple more seconds. I couldn't count on help. If I didn't solve this right now, I'd die. Oh man, you're leaving it to me. Cut left, cut right, charge, whatever the first one was. I can feel it. Oh man. And my mouse disappeared. Fuck that! Fuck that! This chump wasn't killing me. I passed off the knife to my left hand and then tried to cut the wire around my neck. It wasn't exactly a clean angle to cut with, but I had a lot of desperation. Somehow I was able to make progress. An absolute soul-changing moment. I felt the tension snap and the breath began to enter my lungs. Unlike Krish, however, I didn't fall to the floor gasping. I already knew what I wanted to do the moment I was free. I turned around and swung wildly where my assailant should be. Unfortunately, I was on my knees, which meant Mystery Man was able to jump straight over the arc of the swing. And then mid-air, he planted the tip of his boot right in my face. I was sent skidding further on the floor. And if I just lay there, though, I'd be dead in a matter of seconds. I gasped for air, trying to recompose myself. I so quickly scattered on all fours, going from a crawl to a low-to-the-ground run, putting space between me and the Mystery Man. 0 chips. I told you I wasn't going to win any chips. To my side, Krish is also standing in a fighting stance. Mystery Man was just standing in front of us, glaring. And then to the side of the room, Polly spoke up. Hey, dude. I don't know, what you want. He wants to kill you, Polly. Okay, I got that much, fellas. Thank you. My point is, I don't know why you're doing this. But I just called the police. They're on their way ASAP. They'll surround this place any minute now. Why should I care? Well, I mean... Look, you could kill all 3 of us. I'm sure you could. But I think the last few minutes have proven that with the 3 of us working together, it's not going to be an easy fight. I think the 3 of us will be able to last at least a bit longer. By the time you actually finish your job, it'll be too late. We're supposed to be surrounded. You'll have no way out. We'll be dead, you'll be in jail. Really, nobody wins in that situation. To my surprise, the Mystery Man was actually considering what Polly was saying. This is the perfect opportunity to do something I was looking for the whole time. With his attention distracted, I suddenly took my phone out of my pocket. Without even looking at the screen, I slid over to the camera app, and... Like, I'm sure your boss or whatever wasn't going to be happy that I didn't die. But I'm a public guy. I'm sure you'll get another shot at me. But if you get captured here, that's it. That's the end of the line. You'll rot in jail for the rest of your life. That's all you'll amount to. That doesn't need to happen here, and we don't need to die. So just, you know, leave, please? Fuck. The Mystery Man looked absolutely pissed. However, quickly he fished his hands in both pockets. Then he took out 2 more metal capsules and threw them both at the ground simultaneously. Shit. The instant one of them hit the ground, my vision and hearing were robbed from me. Goddamn flashbangs. I tried to recover my senses as soon as I could. When I did, I saw the effects of the other grenade. A fire had broken out in the middle of the house. A mini incendiary grenade. Motherfucker! In the back, I could see the Mystery Man fleeing. Oh no. Not that easily, you dipshit. I began running in his direction. I made my way out of the house as soon as I could, and I stayed in his trail as he ran out the back, out into the open grass. He had a lead, but I was fast. Yeah, but he's better than us at fighting, so we probably shouldn't chase him. I would catch up to him. In the forest, I felt an impact from behind. What the hell? I tumbled to the floor with a mass on top of me. What the hell? Who the hell? Krish? To my surprise, sure enough, Krish had just tackled me to the ground. Oh, come on! And what was this? Because of this, Mystery Man was totally gonna lose me. Once in the forest at this time of night, I had no manner of tracking him. My only chance was staying in eyeshot. And that had just been blown. What the hell, Krish? What the hell, Krish? What the hell, Vels? What are you thinking? What do you mean, what am I thinking? I'm going after the Mystery Man. And I'm asking why. Why? Krish, he just tried to kill us. Fucking exactly. He tried to kill us. Why are you chasing after him alone? To stop him. Don't. Vels, what was going to stop him from turning around and just shooting you in the face as you got closer? What were you going to do if that happened? He probably doesn't have another gun. If he did, he would have gone for it in the house. You don't know that. I can assume that. You're going to bet your life on an assumption. I just did that 5 times back to back in there. Fine, whatever. He doesn't have a gun. So? You still couldn't capture him. That right? It is. I don't know what you saw, but he just kicked your ass. He kicked both our asses. He tried to kill us. He didn't. We won. On a technicality. 3-1. Barely. Do you seriously think trying to fight him alone in the middle of the forest is a good idea? You're gonna get yourself killed. I need to catch him. Why? Our job was to save Polly. We did that. Drop it. But once Krish was right. Running directly after Mystery Man was a dumb prospect. Okay. Okay, you're right, Krish. Thank you. I was worried you'd be stubborn about this. I'm not you. Anyways, we should get back to the house as quickly as possible. I kind of brushed past it, but a fire did seem to start in there. We should try and put that out. Or at the very least, make sure Polly's fine. Oh shit, you're right. Come on, let's go. Krish got up and began running back to the house right away. Part of me wanted to follow them. However, I just turned right around and continued to run in the forest. Sorry, Krish. But some things were better handled alone. You were right. Just blindly following after the Mystery Man was dumb. That didn't mean there wasn't something else I could do about it. I know how it feels to come to a point in your life where people are getting paid to kill you. What's your emotional response to that? Pride? Guilt? Fear? Surprise? Or maybe when you get to that point, you just expect it. You don't have a strong reaction. I bet it's context dependent. Anyway, good thing for Polly that Vels was there. And that Vels was the same old paranoid nutcase. Glass under leaves, I'll admit, that's a new one. Might have to steal that one. Though I have to say, seems like Vels isn't quite the gladiator warrior I thought. One day you're handling 4 versus 1 against gang members, the next day you're losing 1 versus 3 against an assassin. Feels bad. I guess our Mystery Man just might be that good. To all parties' credit, the fight did go on for a while without a clear winner. Took up most of the scene, in fact. Sorry that the visuals were a little low par. Look, setting intense actions up in this thing's a real pain in the ass. I'm already putting too much work into the glorified test. Ah, right. Forget about my stupid blabbering mouth. Let's talk about you. Would you want an assassin to try and kill you? No, of course not. Don't be stupid. Cool, cool, very interesting. Well, that's about it for our chat. See you soon. How's that very interesting? Oh, another gold lock. God damn it. I mean, no, we had a silver lock last time. Well, I guess that means we are going back to this one. To try and earn more keys. Till then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks again out for me, and I'll see you in the next one.